Boom roasted. We are back. And this week we are going to talk about how to not talk to a client until they know who you are, what you do, and they're 99% sure they're going to hire you no matter what you charge. I call it the name your own price marketing method. I'm
That's right.
excited for this week.
Well,
This is the Top Lenders in America podcast. I'm Charlie Madison with your co host, Zach Hammer of Real Estate Growth Hackers, who
hello, hello.
helps real estate agents hack their growth.
Go
So,
figure.
I'm so excited about this conversation. What made it happen was like Friday night, I couldn't go to sleep
Mm,
because it was the best sales call of my life.
those are great. I love it when that happens.
It was acknowledgement and it was like proof that everything that we do works,
Mm,
and it was on a level that I've never seen before from the stuff that we're doing.
nice.
And so I'll set the stage for you. I've been reaching out to people to be host for this podcast,
Right.
and I had someone get on my calendar for Friday at 2,
Nice.
and I didn't hear anything confirmation wise. And I was on a phone call. It went over at 2. I didn't see anything. My phone call got over at 2:30.
Right.
So I get off and I look, and the person had reached out to me and said, "We're still on for 2." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." Like, I take pride in doing what I say, showing up on time.
Right.
Like, I really did this. I emailed them and said, "Hey, can I give you a call? I'm so sorry," so we can reschedule.
Right.
And then I just called him. I was like, "Look, I am so sorry." And I was like, "We can reschedule, or I've got a little bit of time right now." And this lady said, "I know you're really busy, but if you've got time, like, I'd love to talk now."
Nice.
And so I'm like, "All right." And I start talking to her how this is the pre-podcast call, how it's
Right.
going, what's going to happen. And she said, "I found you because I'm friends with one of your referrals while you sleep clients, Jerry Cowan.
Right.
And I have watched your videos with Paul, and I see what you're doing. And that's why I called you."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, this wasn't like, so cutting way down I find out she sleuthed around the internet. She like saw what we were doing. She watched over an hour and a half of me and Paul talking about what we're doing. And
Right.
she found a back door to my calendar link.
She
And
she snuck her way on your calendar,
yes,
huh? That's awesome.
yes. And I was thought for a second. I was like, okay, this is really cool. A compliant client is someone that is willing to jump through your hoops.
Right.
And it takes me back. I might have shared this before. Before I got into real estate, I'd studied direct response marketing for a
Right.
lot of years. I was on Planet Dan Kennedy. One of my number one client, he was like, been on Planet Dan for 10 years, mentored me. And one of Dan's phrases is, if you guys know Dan Kennedy, he's a grumpy old man. It is. But he says, "I don't want to talk to anyone until they know who I am, what I do, and they're 99% sure they want to hire me."
Right.
I've since added, "no matter what I charge them." That's
Right.
my add. And like, that is what marketing is, right? Marketing is sales. Instead of being nose to nose, toes to toes, instead of going door to door,
Right.
marketing is sales in media.
Right.
And so I've got my license April 2013. And I come into my office, I'm talking to my broker, and I've got all this really good direct response marketing.
Right.
And I'm a new agent, and she's like, "This is really good." And then she's marking it up. "This isn't compliant. Like, change this,
Right.
change that." And exactly. And they were all simple things. And she says, "This is going to be really cool." And I told her. I was like, my goal is to not work with clients until they know who I am, what
Right.
I do, and they're 99% sure that they want to hire me,
Right.
no matter what I charge. And my broker, she's been in the business decades. Amazing person, sweet lady, great real estate agent. Like,
Right.
it's always great to work with a pro, and she's a pro. And she looked at me like, Charlie, that's not possible. And to most people in the real estate industry, that literally feels like a fantasy. And I would say even most business, unless you know the power of marketing, of media,
Right.
of good marketing, not
Right.
I am the key to your home.
Please.
Here's my pumpkin spice buyer contract. I
Keep
just
in mind, sometimes those things.
I just made that up, but that would actually be funny.
I 100.
Yes. So that's the background, right?
Right.
That's what I wanted. And what's
Right.
cool is I had that on this call. And for our talk today, our conversation, I want to share one, the benefits of it and what made it so great, and
Right.
then how it worked out.
Nice.
And so thinking about that, I don't know, did anything stand out to you? Or does that sound like a good plan for this chat today?
That sounds great.
Is that what I said? Never do it. Never do it.
Not picking up the
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but
Right.
necessarily hear about it.
Yeah. So how it worked. Once I realized that, oh, you snuck onto my calendar, and I
Right.
was like, oh, this will be fun. And
Right.
before I get into my pitch, I just wanted to ask her, I was like, all right, so what do you know about our software, what we do?
Right.
And she said, from what I can tell, is it automatically builds, like it connects to my phone and gets my contacts from there. And then it gets like pictures and testimonials of me and markets me to people. And then Paul, he's got like a lot of free time and he's got like clients that meet are willing to wait to meet with him. So that's what I know so far. I was like, that's pretty good.
That's
So how cool is that?
right.
That before I've even spoken to her, she knows what I do. Like, and then I'm able to say, here's a couple other things. We got video that we do as well. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I told her a little bit. And so what I was able to do, and for me, I think this really is part of the magic formula. It's what me and you do. It's what
Right.
a lot of folks do is it lets me then focus on her.
Right.
So I was able to say, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and then I'm going to focus all this time on you. And
Right.
it reminds me of I've got my listing book on how to sell your home in the first weekend for thousands more than you thought possible.
Right.
And when I would be especially referred to a stranger, and it was
Right.
just an ebook, when I talked to him before the listing appointment, I would say, I'm going to send you this because I want
Right.
you to know exactly what I do before we meet so that when we meet, I can focus all on you.
Right.
Because we
Right.
know that that's a good sales presentation. That's how
Right.
I can filter and see if you're a good fit for me. And I remember the first time I sent that out, I got to the house and the person said, I don't know if we want to hire you. I don't know if we want to sell our house that fast.
Hilarious.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's
Right.
money.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's having a client me having a client that says, I don't know that I want that much money and that much free time. How many compliant clients?
Yeah, exactly.
And so then what I was able to do, I was able to say, I'd like to really find out about your business.
Right.
And I was able to do what we call the 5, 6, 7, which is, hey, what does success mean to you? And really dive down. And what's cool, the reason we call it the 5, 6, 7 is usually, I think we've talked about this before.
Right.
I have, you have, everyone's got some deep beliefs and values that are really important to them
Right.
that most of us, one, never have anyone care to ask about,
Right.
two, never have the space to be able to, the way I like to describe it, it's there, but it's, I've got a map in my heart, but it's covered by leaves. And so
Right.
this process uncovers those deep values. And I was talking to my friend Jamie Smart this weekend. I was in
Right.
this training with him, and he said something. He said, when you help people uncover their deep values and beliefs,
Right.
new possibilities that they didn't know was possible opens up to them
Mm.
and to you.
Right. Right.
I've never heard it put that way.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And, and so now I'm not just trying to sell, I'm not trying to sell something. I'm really discovering what is important to her and seeing if we're a good fit. And
Right.
what I've discovered is it takes trust for someone to open up at
Right.
that level that's meaningful.
Right.
And my goal is to get to a place where whether someone that I meet with, whether they buy my stuff now, later, or never,
Right.
I want it to be an amazing conversation for them.
Right. So when you're talking,
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And to me, that 5, 6, 7 conversation, like it's the greatest gift that I can give someone, myself. And I actually found out that Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, they've got a training company,
right.
and they actually paid my mentor Joe years ago to teach them how to. This is actually the core of their program as well, which is
Right.
pretty fun. And like I tell my real estate clients, and this is the way I view the Realtor Waiting List.
Right.
I don't know if this is a good fit for you until I find out what's important to you.
Right.
With my real estate clients, like it's more than a bedroom and a bathroom. It's more than just a small yard and a picket fence.
Right.
How can I guide them on all the different options until I hear what's important to them? And
Exactly.
so when someone comes to me and they already know what I do,
Right.
I can get into that gift. That's what I can get into.
Right.
And so that was an amazing conversation. I believe it was for her too.
Right.
And then at the end, once I hear that, I told her, I was like, I would love to help you accomplish this vision. I think referrals while you sleep will really help. And she's, yeah, I agree.
Right.
And so I said, hey, here's the cost. We're going to do this trial. Actually, I told her, hey, this is what we're going to do. And she actually knew what she said. This is a trial to see if we're a good fit. I was like, you're right. Because she already knows how we work. And then I said, let's book some time next week to onboard. And I sent her my calendar,
Right.
and she booked for, I just saw it. So Wednesday, she's
Right.
on my calendar. How different is that from, I need to, between 1 or 3 tomorrow, what's a good time? When
Right.
tie downs and Benjamin Franklin closes and which all that stuff works.
Right.
But what I've discovered is having that conversation,
Right.
it really clears up for both of you what you want.
Right.
And I'm really not wasting any time. She knows pretty much what I do because it's completely transparent, because she's
Right.
spent hours. She'd really spent hours with me. She had a relationship with me before I even met her. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what a beautiful way to do business. And
Right.
it just showed. And like, she didn't sign up for this show. She didn't sign up for a newsletter list. She, in a way, was referred by a friend. She was talking to a friend and said, hey, I see what you're doing. Like, how are you doing it? And he mentioned my name and what I'm doing. And she started Googling, and like, she knows I'm in real estate, and she found my videos and she watched them. And that's so much education I don't have to do.
Right.
And like, I haven't even marketed this show too much yet. Like, this is mainly helping lenders build authority and influence with their sphere. And it was just positioning, influence, the like switch. It
Right.
just covered all of it. And what's cool about it, like, that is what we do with the Realtor Waiting List.
Right.
And I was thinking about it. What's important about recording video right now, 2023, and with the proliferation of AI and everything being so synthetic, to be authentic
Right.
really stands out. It puts you in the
Right.
0.0001%. You and your authentic voice. Oh, because I remember she had some questions like, do I need to edit the videos or do you? And I was like, if you want them edited, you do that ahead of time. But my suggestion
Right.
is don't edit it. Because everything's synthetic, what we found is just the raw, authentic, run with it is the best way to do it. That's what
Right.
that builds that trust. So
Absolutely.
what occurs to you from any of that? Any insights on your part? You've been around this for a while, so there's not much new to you. I've got
Yeah.
a red Power Ranger coming down here. Getting to be Halloween time.
Yeah. Then we got a llama, a cat.
Which one are you? Are you the cat? It's like, where's Waldo? Waldo, where's that camera?
That's right. That's right. So
Realtors, most lenders enjoy talking to people they like. If
exactly.
not, you're probably not
And they're
in the business.
coming to you for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy this. It used to cost what? Hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to run your message for 60 seconds,
Right.
right?
Right.
And now you can share a whole thought. I know a lot of people, they do the little, and there's a place for the little 90-second shorts and whatnot. But for people to be able to hear my full thought and be able
Right.
to get like a long explanation and understand the deep part of it. One of the questions
Right.
that I've had is who's going to listen to it? Whoever's interested.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and the other folks, I don't like, that's fine. But the people that are interested, I'm either going to have to tell them personally,
Right.
and that doesn't scale very well. And for me, I don't like saying the same thing over and over. Like this way, I get to talk
Right.
and it lasts for a while. So they're going to have to hear it because they need to know
Right.
how we work. But this way, like all that education, all that compliance, influence, it took me zero time once it
Right.
was created. Those were
Right.
videos that I created in the spring, and now they're just working. It's really exciting. And what a gift to be able to give a realtor partner,
Right.
right? Like that is, I love what Alex Hormozy says. I got to say him every single show. He talks about the value matrix,
Right.
and actually just had it here. I showed it to some clients. It's your dream outcome
Right.
times perceived likelihood of achievement
Success. Right.
divided by time delay and effort and sacrifice.
Mm.
And
Right.
so, what you're doing in the realtor waiting list, what this does is I'm getting compliant clients
Right.
like 100% because the people that know me are seeing it.
Right.
And the time delay and effort and sacrifice, when you tell a realtor, hey, show up on this call, it's going to be 20 to 30 minutes, I'll handle everything else. The time delay is an effort and sacrifice is almost zero.
Right. Right.
And one of the things that Alex says about the best offers, he
Right.
used to try to improve the dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement. And you've got to
Right.
have some value there. But he said the people that make the most money, they remove the time delay and the
Right.
sacrifice.
Right.
And so you've got the ability to remove the effort and sacrifice for a realtor to get how many compliant clients every year.
Right. By the way,
Right.
you're probably going to have to call.
And
I
if
like
you
a good
fight
consummate.
through if you fight through it, you can eventually get one of those to show up to an appointment. And you can get one of them to actually go through the 5 conversion points, and you can get a check. And you can split 50% of that with me, your team leader.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So,
That one of the questions that my lenders ask is, who should I offer this to?
right.
And my first suggestion, the realtors that are already sending you business,
Right.
because as you get them more business, they're going to send that business to you as well.
Right.
The next group, I would say it actually is those power networkers,
Mm-hmm.
those people that love to meet people that are out. It's
Right.
just they can't stop themselves.
Right.
Because if you take those people and they're meeting 10, 20, 50 people in a week at times, and
Right.
everybody loves them, and then those people start getting their videos every other week. And when they look them up, they've got this videos of like long form content.
Right.
Like talk about pouring kerosene on a nuclear bomb, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Nailed it.
nailed it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And the goal isn't to get leads.
Right.
The goal is to get closings where I still love myself and want to keep doing it.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's
Exactly.
where the time delay, the effort and sacrifice. You get a lead, you got to chase them for 2 years. You
Right.
get a compliant client that says, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving." Um, you do a you meet with them, and they either do something then or they do that soon. You don't have to
Right.
chase them,
Right.
especially if you got this automated, like they're getting videos from you every other week and they're seeing you online. And what I found is you can create a really great follow up system
Right.
with these people. How many people are on your phone right now? Maybe 450 lenders. You guys usually have great databases because you've got address, zip code. Like some of our new clients have 4,500 people in their database. And are you going to get all 15%? Probably not.
Right.
But if those people are seeing you twice a month and every time they go online, the
Right.
ones that like you, as one guy said, I want people to either turn me up to 11 or turn me all the way off.
Right.
And the people that love me are going to show up. And same thing with realtors. Most realtors, they got 450 people in their phone. The
Right.
problem is if you're going to send out a newsletter and a postcard and do a Thanksgiving Day pie, those things, that's if you just do the newsletter and postcard every month to 450 people, that's $1, that's $900 a month.
Right.
And you're hitting them twice.
Right.
Whereas this, you can you can broadcast to, we've had up to 18,000 people, and it's just unbelievable the scale and the depth. I think that's what it is, the depth of
Right.
relationship they can build.
Right. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I, I really want to finish this with one really good analogy that I was thinking about this week because I just hired my friend Jamie to coach me one on one.
Right.
And I was thinking about it, and his offer to me was the exact same as another person I talked to about a year ago.
Mm.
And the other person, like we met, we had a good consultative conversation.
Right.
I liked what she was doing, but I told her, no, this isn't a good time.
Right.
And part of it was I didn't know that I was going to get the results. I didn't have the relationship, I didn't have the trust.
Right.
And with Jamie, like, I'm laughing because when I first met him, he's written a book. And
Right.
so I remember when I was listening to the book, I was one time I fell asleep listening to the Audible. I fell asleep with him. We're close. I spent hours and hours with him before
Right.
I gave him any money. But the first time I gave him money, I gave him $10,000. And
Right.
then I've paid him multiple times. And so now we've got this relationship. And when he made this offer, he said, "What's the next step?" I said, "Send me an invoice." And I got off the call and I like moved stuff around to make it happen
Right.
because I already trust him. I already know him. It was easy. And
Right.
that's the difference between we've all had those sales calls where it went awesome, but we had no prior relationship with that person. And a lot of times they just, like I did, they either get skittish or wait. And how do you build that relationship? The truth is, if this person had been sending me emails a couple times a month, I would have built some kind of relationship with them. Fortune's in the follow up.
There you
And
go.
I wanted to end with that because that's really what this is about, how
Absolutely.
to efficiently build deep relationships, which lead to compliant clients that easily close where you still love your life. Yeah. And I feel like that's a pretty good place to end this on.
I like it.
Yeah. And so this is the top lenders in America with my man, Zach Hammer from Real Estate Growth Hackers. And this is sponsored by the Realtor Waiting List. If you want to know how to use the system to get realtors waiting to work with you, like our other clients have, go to realtorwaitinglist.com. Let us know if there's a wait list for us because our current cohort is filled up. Sign up. We'll let you know when the next one is. If it's available, book some time on my calendar. We'll have this 567 call, see what's important to you. And I love the idea of talking to you and seeing how we can help.
Absolutely.
Bye.